You know, this is oddly familiar. Most fans of Thomas and Friends remember the episode where Thomas went face first through a station master's house. It's one of those stories that's inarguably a classic, and I've made customs based on it before. That first time was in G-scale, but today I thought it'd be fun to challenge myself and try something a little bit smaller. And if you've seen my recent videos or read the title of this, you may know exactly what we're using. Today we'll be using a Capsule Plarail Thomas. And using some spare parts I found around my desk, today we'll hopefully make this guy look guilty of property damage. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, when making a custom of Thomas Comes to Breakfast, you have a few options. You could follow the television series and add bits of plaster, wood, and a bush to his front end, or the railway series, which features all of that plus a window frame around his smoke box. Or you could be like me and say forget both of those and use the superior inspiration of the wooden railway version. Jokes aside, this is probably my favorite piece of wooden railway merch ever, and I actually got it at a day out with Thomas as a kid. And since that day, it has remained firmly in my top 5 merch list of all time across all brands. But, you see, it was kind of a one-time thing. They literally never made another version of this in any form. If you have ADHD though, and a will, arguably anything's possible, so here's how I made my own. Now, in this situation, I don't think Thomas would be smiling, so we're just gonna get rid of it, and instead put on a tired face taken from a paint-splattered Thomas. When I made this in G-scale, the biggest thing I didn't like about it was its smile, so we're gonna make sure we don't do that again with this model. It also just kinda suits the project. He looks embarrassed almost. Now, if you have a keen eye, you may have noticed that this Capsule Thomas is a little different. He doesn't feature a normal buffer beam sticker, and that's because I unfortunately got him without one. I gave him new buffers using pupil vinyl decals, but unfortunately never cracked a new coupler. So for a while this Thomas sat in the extra pile, but as you'll soon see ended up perfect for this project. And now that we have Thomas here prepped and ready, let's get into what else we need. Simple, but hopefully effective. So the first bit we'll start with is the face, and for the face I want to use some inspiration from the wooden railway model. On that model, Thomas has some eggs on his cheek from the breakfast he ruined, and I'm going to attempt to put those on this very small face. This hopefully will be an easy process, and will be done with a white paint pen and a yellow paint pen. You know, that's a lot better than I expected. And using a little bit of black tack, we stick that right back on the front of Thomas, and at least that part is now complete. There's far more to a Thomas Comes to Breakfast custom than a face, however. So with that out of the way, we move on to our extra bits. For this project, pretty luckily, I found a broken window seal and had a bunch of clump foliage spare. Since I'm working with a capsule, I grabbed the smallest pieces I could find, and was kinda stumped with the window seal for a bit at first. At first I figured I would put this part around Thomas's funnel, but this was something I really didn't like the look of. So instead I would take a little bit more inspiration from the wooden model and put it around Thomas's smoke box almost like it's a little hat. And now that our little window samurai has some proper gear, we'll also refit his face. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we get into the fun part. Now, to fix that lack of a front coupler and add a little bit of detail to the front end of Thomas, we're gonna need our tester's glue. Really, any glue works, this just doesn't leave a nasty residue. And I'm gonna make sure to dab it where that coupler should be, as well as anywhere I want the clump foliage to stick, so also the front running board. You really don't have to overdo it, a single glob spread out wherever you want it to go will do the trick. And with that complete, just add a bit of clump foliage. I think it's safe to say this guy is finally taking shape. Next, I did something I think more Thomas fans should do and went outside, where I happened to find some very small twigs, and I figured these would look good on the front of Thomas as well. First, we have to break them down and make them a bit smaller though. Once that's complete, we do the same thing we did with the clump foliage. Add a little bit of glue and just stick it wherever you think it looks best. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, it's really up to you if you want to continue. I had everything I needed to call this a complete custom, but still wanted to add a little bit more. I decided to go around Thomas with a little bit more glue and a little bit more clump foliage, and just add any detail I thought he was missing. So that's what you're seeing right now. And now, with all of that done, ladies and gentlemen, we are on to the Glamour Shots. As always, huge thank you and shout out to my patrons for making videos like this even possible. If you want to join these beautiful people on screen or see videos or projects early, be sure to check that out in the description. And of course, thank you guys again for watching. This is the kind of custom anybody could make, so hopefully it inspired you to do something today. If I can do this, literally anyone can, so if you're interested, be sure to give it a shot. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to like and subscribe, since there's always more on the way. This video was a blast to make and a blast to film, so I'd love to make more if you guys are interested. But I think for now, I've done enough talking. I'm gonna let the work speak for itself. As always, guys, thanks again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.
Dinner fast yourself, Thomas. We'll soon have you back on the rails. They laughed.
Boy said he wanted to get his junk down jiggler snack. I paid it on the phone, not on C's. Baby boy said line my jickle you, bittle you until I sleep will snack up and pong nella oo snacks. You want to see that alcohol burners man snack?
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.